Hello, it's David Fugel, Life Sherpa, coming at you today with a conversation about two words that can paralyze us and bring in the thickest fog we can possibly imagine. And those two words are what if? What if I don't find that job? What if I don't get that offer? What if I don't get a raise? What if I get fired? What if I can't find that apartment? What if I don't pass this test? What if I can't sell my home? What if? We can what if ourselves into oblivion, right? So we can use what if in a couple of different ways. But when we go to the what if catastrophizing, interpreting the what if as, oh my God, what if this happens to me? Then we become very, very, very stuck in that place of worry, fear, and our imaginations run wild. We give it the opportunity to run amok. It's like the Jumanji of brain processing, right? There's animals and beasts running everywhere in the town. Well, all of that's happening. All of these wild thoughts are coming to us because we can really see ourselves. And one way of handling it is, okay, let's run this thing through. I could say, what if this is going to happen? And I could sit down and list out the process. What if this happens? Well, then if that happens, this might happen. And when that happens, this might happen. And when this happens, that might happen. And keep going down the list. So that would be what I'm afraid of happening, worst case scenario. Then I can go to best case scenario and list out, well, what if this happens? Well, if that happens, then I can go to best case scenario and list it all out. And then finally, what is the most likely? What if? What if this happens? And then most likely this is going to happen. And then literally give ourselves percentage of likelihood. How likely is this to happen if that what if happens, and then that happens, and then that happens, because we take it right down a process. And of course, if I catastrophize, I always see myself living in a cardboard box with holes in my shoes, if I have any shoes, in the snow, and I could kind of catastrophize to that place, and I really want that process to happen. And in doing that, I can look at that and the likelihood of that after the fact, percentage-wise, how likely is it? Look at the most optimistic what-if scenario. What if I don't get this? What if I don't sell this house? Well, say this, it happens at the right time, the right place, and I get more than I was asking for at the right time. And it takes me out of all of the burden of debt and all of these other good things. And because I waited, the perfect place for me to move on to happens to appear, and it would have never been there. So I could go to that more positive, most positive scenario, and then a most likely scenario. And again, taking it down to the very final step of it. And again, taking it and looking at it as objectively as we can, giving it a percentage of likelihood. So what we will find is that we are surprised by the percentages. I promise you that. So try that if you are open to doing that real time. But that's one real time way to attack the what if scenario. Another way to do it is to tap on it. Oh, what a surprise. So I'm going to go through a what if scenario. What I'm really looking to do, what if is about old stories that I've been telling myself for a long time. So my stories may be scarcity. So my what if always has that leaning towards scarcity. So if I don't get this opportunity that I was looking forward to, I'll never get another opportunity, and it'll get worse, and it'll just be debtor's prison, and goodness knows what's going to happen, and I'll lose custody of children that I don't even have, and oh my goodness, right? Okay, that's the brain protecting us in its very, very specific way, even though it can feel a little harsh. It is protecting us. It's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to get us to be prepared for that worst case scenario so that we don't get taken out by the surprise and shock of it all, right? So we tend to look 5 steps ahead. That's what happens. We're playing the tape forward, and it's happening at a split second. So it's not like we're doing it consciously. It's these thoughts that are put together, trying to attach the dots going forward. That's the way the brain is, in effect, the heart and the brain work together to do that. And they're going back to old files of things that have happened before and assuming the most likely outcome would be based upon these 5 outcomes that were very traumatic or frightening or whatever it may be. That's the way we are built to work.